So we played a bunch of Zelda Breath of the Wild. We saw lots of cool things.
You named one of your horses Kyle, which immediately got killed.
They named the horse Kyle.
There was one scene where you were actually jousting while on the horse. You had this long rake.
It wasn't a great weapon for being on foot, but once you're on horseback, it's great to switch to your longer weapons. And there's also a lot of value in knocking people off their horse, then taking the fight to the ground. Because if you're on foot with enemies coming at you with horses, you're in trouble.
There's those Lizalfos that are just covered in snow. You'll be running right by them on your horse or whatever, and then all of a sudden it'll pop out of the snow, and it's like, oh my gosh.
I saw one. He wasn't camouflaged well enough for me to miss him, and I walked up to him and engaged him, and I was fighting him. But then one that I had totally missed nearby jumped into the fray and just destroyed me. Just took off like 6 hearts in one hit. They don't take you on one at a time. They will all pounce on you at once, and they killed me quickly.
You're supposed to be able to sneak up on enemies too.
You can make potions to actually soften your feet and be quieter and sneak up on enemies. But the best solution I found for fighting those Lizalfos was to just use like a fire arrow. And that took them out really quickly. Every encounter we had felt distinct. I got to fight a guardian, and my first instinct, which was pretty good, was to just go in with my horse, jump into slow motion. It started charging up its laser, and I fired off my bomb arrow, and it interrupted the laser, and I landed, and I was like, okay, I'm in good shape here. But then I realized that I had taken off just barely a sliver of the guardian's life, and it immediately came after me and started firing off its laser at me, and I died instantly.
Kind of reminds me of Big Daddies. The first time I played BioShock, and you need to take everything with you into that fight if you were going to take it down.
If you find one, you're going to have to prepare. Go cook some food, maybe get some better armor, get a better horse, and then take that with you to go fight this thing.
Because you died a lot. We made so much fun of you.
Yeah.
In fact, that's the best part of this game, is getting together with a friend and just laughing at them as they constantly die over and over again. But actually that does bring up an interesting point, because the game doesn't really scale like Skyrim does, so you could wander into an area that you're totally not equipped for, and people would just wreck you.
Yeah, it's designed in such a way where if you get stuck somewhere, they want you to go somewhere else, or to back out and get prepared. Like one of the things we did was we cooked a bunch of hot pepper meals to take into the snowy area. I had like a long sleeve shirt, but Link was still shivering, and if he shivers too much, he starts losing hearts.
His shiver animation is really adorable. So we were in that snow area, and you like opened your map and then zoomed out, and then zoomed out again. And it's like, okay, we're really far away from that starting area that we saw at E3.
Yeah, it seems really dense. Like we started at this place called Serene Stable, where we could sleep and get hearts back. We could also take a horse out from there. And I think we must have played for like an hour and a half. And like you said, we pulled up the map, and it really felt like we had not even touched a little section of the map. And then on top of that, things had changed significantly from that walk from the stable to the snow. The environment had changed, storms had kicked up while we were on the way there, it started lightning and raining. A big surprise for me was we were walking north, and we walked by this ravine, which I just assumed was a built-in barrier to the world. But then Nintendo, told me to look down into the ravine.
Mr. Nintendo
himself.
Look down there.
And you could actually see the bottom. And what that means is you can take your paraglider and go down to the bottom of the ravine, and you can explore down there.
I don't think I'm just going to be jumping from dungeon to dungeon. Okay, once I get to the dungeon, then the game really starts. The game is this massive world that you're going to be exploring.
I found a couple shrines. They're little mini dungeons. It's almost like one tiny section of a dungeon, and they're spread all around the world of Hyrule, and they actually act as fast travel points when you open them up. And the one we found had a pretty straightforward puzzle where you kind of have to roll a ball around, and there were these wind vents, and you had to use your magnet tool, which is like magnesis, and you could lift up blocks to block the air vents, and then you could get the ball to roll around to the switch to lift you up to the top. You could do that, and you could complete the dungeon, but then there was also, which I understand is going to be in pretty much all these little shrines, like an extra chest that you can go after that basically accounts for like a more difficult puzzle.
It seems like the Zelda team had free reign to just create 100 different little puzzles, and even if it doesn't fit in some certain area, it can just go into a shrine. Just a little tiny puzzle blast for you to enjoy. Yeah. And the ones we played so far have been pretty clever and fun.
It's super close. It's coming out really soon, and I can't wait to see what everyone finds.
Yeah, because they're better than you.
That's certainly the case.